I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up, matter what, told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Epic Podcast. I'm joined in the house today with Jared and Ike, man. How was y'all sports weekend? Nope.
You cross me up with this question every
Every
there was no sports weekend,
Wait a
bro.
minute.
It doesn't happen. It ain't
What's
what,
going on?
there's nothing like I haven't had a sports weekend since fucking middle of April, bro. Like it's over.
Okay, fair enough.
Nah, I did get to check out the Reds in Cincinnati this weekend though, so I mean that
Oh,
was
well, come on, man. That's
I don't
something to
even
talk about.
count, bro. Them niggas play every day. I don't even count.
That's true. What about you, Ike, man? Glad to have you back in the house, man.
Man, I'm making an appearance here now and again. I didn't have a sports weekend. I mean, I talked to you about the whole thing that happened with Boston and Detroit for me,
Oh, yeah.
and me being a contrarian now have me in a bet. And I mean, I'm up 2-0 right now because although I came on this show and said that whoever wins the Western Conference Finals was going to win the finals.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I did,
And now
and
you're going
then
to change your pick because you got
I'm naturally
to
a
a bet.
contrarian on some things, and then I had one of my frat brothers was like, "Who you got before game one?" And I kept seeing all this Dallas stuff, and I was like, I'm just say Boston." And I really was just talking about game one, and then he threw a bet out there, and it's not like a huge bet, like it's some small stuff. I'm like, well, now I got to be consistent, so uh, I'm in for Boston now. It is what it is. So I got to be consistent across the board. Though I can't go one side over there just for the bet and then be over here saying something different.
So now you're officially for Boston for the rest of the series, no matter what, because
Well,
of the
yeah,
bet.
I get free gear for it. So yeah,
Okay. Well, fair enough. Can't argue with that. Well, let's jump into it then, man. Guess we'll start NFL. Somebody proposed this question in the chat. Who's your breakout player this year? And I want to add a little bit to that too. Like on your team, who do you think is going to be the breakout player? And then like a player from another team. You got to pick two. All right, let's start with you, man. I'm just fooling my eye.
um, I mean, who else would break out for the 49ers at this point?
The whole team broke out. Pause.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't even know who to pick. I guess I'll come back to that one. As far as for just all around,
Yeah, just in the NFL period.
I got Tank Dell, man. I think that
That's a good one.
I think having Diggs there is going to help him be in positions in which he's just going to be a mismatch problem. And,
Yeah,
it's
he does.
about the time to start thinking about fantasy football and who I might draft that one round. And I've definitely got my eye on Tank Dell because I think that he is going to be probably the biggest beneficiary of having Stephon Diggs there. Um, so yeah, that's who I got for just like I mean that's technically who I would call like my sleeper pick. But for the 49ers, man, I mean I don't know who I would pick for the 49ers as a like breakout player. My breakout player from last year broke out. So I mean and now with in contract negotiations with him, I could say Juwan Jennings depending on what happens with uh, BA. And I think that Jennings is kind of underrated in the sense that people don't pay much attention to him. He
Yeah,
probably is the best blocking receiver that we have, and he's huge on
that's
third downs. So I guess if I got to pick somebody, I'm gonna have to go with Juwan Jennings. But I can't really say anybody specific from the team.
yeah. It's kind of
Everybody on
tough
that
for
team
your
has to
team
be
because
good.
yeah, your team has been playing real well. So it's hard to say, all right, well, this person's gonna be better or break out. Like, yeah, that's tough. What about you, Jared?
I don't know if we can call this player technically a breakout, but I feel like Garrett Wilson's gonna be a top five receiver in the league with A Rod.
Mm,
I feel like he's gonna go crazy. He already kind of went, you know what I'm saying, decent with Zach Wilson. And then he had whoever he had was Zach Wilson again last year. But with A Rod, I think we're gonna be seeing something similar to A Rod and Devontae with A Rod and Garrett Wilson. So
that's very possible.
yeah, so I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson for outside of my team. On my team, bro, don't get me started. Who I think's gonna, bro? We're literally ass at every position except for quarterback. So
So that
my
means you have a lot of opportunity for a breakout player.
that just means that we're ass and nobody's capable of breaking out.
Oh my god.
I mean, really, like every position, we're terrible. We're terrible. We have. Now I'm even gonna say that. I'll say that off camera. But yeah, I was going to get us canceled. But
Oh man.
I'll say that off camera.
Okay, what position would you like to see a
A
breakout player
linebacker,
at? Okay,
please, a
okay, okay.
linebacker. So I'm
But make it
begging
easier.
for a linebacker that can like stop the run, that's fast, that can stay with tight ends, that's physical and aggressive. Just one linebacker, please. I mean, we haven't had a linebacker since Odell Thurman back in 2001. He played one season, couldn't stay off the alcohol or drugs, whatever he was doing, and he ain't played since. But we haven't had a hard linebacker since. So a linebacker, like man, if we could just get a linebacker that's just like tough, can play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, that would just do us wonders. So yeah,
Okay, I feel that. I would say breakout player for the Colts.
they are hopefully.
Yeah. I would like to see Jelani Woods if he can stay healthy. Like, I think he'll be a game changer for us. 6'7", like great hands, huge target, like got speed. Like, I like to see Jelani Woods on the offense. I think that'd be a huge help um to Anthony Richardson and our offense overall, especially with our number two struggling. If you can get a tight end that can really step up, and we got through a lot of balls to the tight end last year, so I think
That's
if
that's crazy.
what
A lot of balls being thrown. That's nuts.
sorry,
That's
we threw a lot of footballs in as
that's
an Indianapolis
wild.
go.
Like
Like, I don't know another way to say it, but yeah. So I
football.
think
No, you got it right.
that
That's crazy.
he could
I agree
definitely
to that.
break out. Outside of us, I would
Bet you won't see
probably
anybody from the AFC South.
no. I don't want to see anybody from the AFC South break out outside of us. I would
Oh yeah, you probably didn't
probably.
like mine, huh? My bad.
It's okay. I mean, it's yours. Um, I know this is probably gonna be controversial, but I want to see Deshaun Watson get back to what he was like with that team. Like, I think if he can play up to what we used to, like his last year with the Texans, like I think the Browns will turn a lot more heads.
The
So
Browns have a very good roster.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and then if you get him to just play, stay
Mhm.
healthy, of course, but
If Nick Chubb
also
comes back
play
healthy,
exact.
they got receivers. Their
Exact.
receiving core is better than ours. I'm just using us for an example. Their tight end game is better than ours. Their running back game is better than ours. Their defense at every single level is better than ours. Like
So if you
we
get
have
Deshaun
opportunity to be
Watson,
worse roster, and the Cleveland Browns has a nice roster. Bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you get Deshaun Watson playing, you know, Texans, the way he's playing for the Texans, then yeah, that almost MVP level, the Browns are gonna be a problem, a big
That would
problem in
be
the AFC.
scary. Actually, that would be terrifying for the
It
team.
would be terrifying. So yeah, that's what I would like to see break out. But yeah, so moving on, man, to the topic we I guess really wanted to talk about. Caitlin Clark, man,
Oh,
she
Jesus Christ.
she doesn't she doesn't make it to the. They don't get an Olympic bid, man. So I'm gonna start with Jared on this one, just because in the
By all
chat it
Man,
means,
just felt like he was had something to say.
it just like, and it's like my reaction isn't. I'm not like everybody else just want to hate Caitlin Clark. My reaction is like that because I want to let her just hoop, but stuff keeps happening. Like I said last week, we kind of toss around options of things to talk about in the chat every week, and it's just like I don't want to keep talking about Caitlin Clark, but every
Every
weekend
week
something
is
else
something.
happens,
It is
and
something.
still Caitlin Clark's word count is at zero. She
She
still
still
has
don't probably
yet
say
to
anything.
say anything. She hasn't said a word.
She just
Like
be
I don't
rolling
even
with the
know if
punches.
Caitlin Clark has Twitter. She hasn't
She
said,
does. Actually, she does.
but
She be
she
talking a
talked
little
on
bit
it.
on Twitter.
She
So like,
talks on it.
so actually after that Washington game when she dropped 30,
Uh huh.
she
Oh
said
shit!
she responded said apparently, uh, I just shoot threes and something. She said something kind of like,
That couldn't have been real.
I swear, bro, I seen it myself.
I'm,
I
I'm
seen it myself.
I'm looking right now. Like
Okay,
bro,
I gotta
I'm,
see
I'm,
that.
I'm
look,
so
look. I seen it myself.
That's
Uh,
nuts.
yeah, so it was something she kind of responded, but like not like nothing crazy, but
Nah, if it was
for the
shady, then that fits.
well,
That
I mean, she do be throwing shade sometimes, but again, it's like I'm gonna I'll say my stance
nah,
on it
bro.
then. Why
You
y'all
you
let
you saw she either deleted it or you saw something fake, bro. She hasn't
uh
posted anything since 5/29, and she just said it's just getting started, but it's in you. Hashtag it's in you, which
oh it must have
is
got
some
deleted
Gatorade.
or it was something else.
That's some Gatorade shit. So
Okay,
that don't even
but
really count.
so with that, you say she doesn't respond much, but what do you think what can she say?
Bro, she's playing it the best she can. Just I mean, she's not saying nothing and it's not working. Like it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Maybe they want responses out of her. I'm not sure, but she's the like y'all know how I feel about LeBron. Like LeBron arguably says some dumb shit from time to time. Like I think me and you, Vernon, we can both agree on that. Like
Absolutely,
that's our guy, but
yeah.
he'll say some shit that'll make it easier for somebody to
To
just like
have something to say, yeah.
just like the shit we talked about with him with his son. Perfect example. Like if he'd have just shut up, it wouldn't be so bad. But Caitlin Clark literally hasn't said a word. Like she hasn't said a word. So it's just odd that this rolling ball of bullshit just continues to, and now they're trying to play the narrative. Like I was listening to Chini Agumake, I think I said her name right, and she's coming at it like, well, I'm okay with Caitlin Clark being left off the thing. They don't pick the team based off who's popular; they pick the team based on who's going to win, protecting the integrity of the game. So now Caitlin Clark's a bum. Is basically what she's saying. Like I just I don't get it. I don't understand it. I wish stuff would just stop happening to where we could stop talking about Miss Caitlin Clark and just let her ball. But unfortunately, every week is something else. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, we just got Justin in here, so
What up, son?
What's going
uh,
on?
Nothing much.
I
we
swear I was hoping I missed this part. That's
nah,
all.
man,
Nah,
you came in right
hey,
on
hey,
time.
I got mine now. You have to
get
wait
up
that
in here.
long.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we gonna let you talk now. Go ahead, man. Caitlin didn't get an Olympic
I,
bid, man. Why? Do you think it's the
so
right? Do
what?
you think it's the right move by Team USA? I guess I'll say that.
According to the things I've heard, yeah.
I
Probably the
don't.
two biggest factors that I've heard was one, they didn't want to have to work. The coach, it was going to be too much of a distraction because she wasn't going to get the playing time. So think about it like they talk about why Cam Newton and guys like that can't have backup jobs. That it's too much. She has too much star power. So if they're playing her 5 minutes a game, people are going to complain. guards out there struggle a little bit, they're going to be complaining. Oh, Caitlin should. It's a distraction. And then the other thing I've heard is they said she is struggling to adjust to the physicality of the WNBA game. And I forgot a couple of the women said the overseas, it's 10 times more physical in that league than it is in the WNBA. So she hasn't even had time to adjust to the WNBA physicality. She's still struggling with that. They just didn't think it would be right to throw her into that. Because again, with the WNBA, it ain't like she had all season or anything yet to adjust, get her body right or nothing like that. So I think it was the right move personally. I don't even see what the big deal about it being. But again, since it's Caitlin Clark, it gets built up. But the funny thing is, I did say this earlier today. I was telling one of my coworkers, I said, the funny thing is, she makes so much money, she won't have to do like these other girls and go overseas to play if she don't want
Oh
to.
hell no, she's
So
self.
you know what I'm saying. So that's the one thing about it where it's like I don't know that she'll ever be able to adjust to that. If the physicality is the way they say it is, she'll never get used to it because she's not going to be like them and have to go overseas to play. So
Right, right. All right, Ike. What about you, man? What do you think?
So I mean, I kind of did like Justin. I watched, I listened to some of the players. I kind of took some of those points, but I looked at it from a different perspective as well. So one, like Justin said, I mean, yeah, she's not going to play. So to me, it's like where they're putting you there just to grow the game. All right, if you just want to sell the jerseys, fine. But what else is it going to do? Like she's like Justin said, she's not going to play. So like, how much growing is that really going to do other than jersey sales? Which I mean, money is money. Great. The other thing I looked at was like, yo, Caitlin has been playing the most basketball. Like everybody else was out. Like WNBA was
hmm
done in what, September last
yep,
year. She's
yep,
been hooping. Like she might need a break
yep.
herself. Like she
hmm
went from the NCAA straight to the WNBA. Like within a
Yep.
couple of weeks. That's to me is like I looked at it from not necessarily her perspective of like how does going benefit her, and couldn't really think of a reason as to why it would benefit her, especially if she's not really going to play. So not being there could one give her the benefit of getting a little bit of rest for the teammates who are still going to be here, building a little bit more of that chemistry, working on the things that they say that she is not the greatest at in the game here. So I don't have an issue with her not being there just from that perspective, just on the sense that it may benefit her by being here, as opposed to going over there just sitting you in practice. I mean, the only other thing that I could think of that kind of made sense to me was from a chemistry standpoint. I mean, she's never played with any of these other girls, and even
That's
with
that's a
greatness,
great point.
yeah, you
Well, for a
can't.
different reason, but
Yeah, but you can't even with great players. Like you can't always just throw people on the court and be like, all right, go hoop.
Nope. Nope.
You've got to build some kind of chemistry, and she would not have had that chemistry with their. Like, to my understanding, the majority of the other
Mm-mm.
players at least have played together. They've had some chemistry. The only issue I would have was like I can't justify putting people on the team who haven't played this year
hmm
over her and saying that well it's a chemistry thing. Well, like this player ain't played at all. Like, so likely even that player who hasn't played, I can't remember who it was.
Chelsea
Uh,
Gray.
Right. Yeah, but so she's
hmm
probably not going to get very many minutes, right? So
Yep.
like that's not a justifiable thing to me. But like I said, for me, the biggest thing was like, Caitlin Clark may need this, and it could also give us time away from the whole Caitlin Clark debate, and then she can come back and we can just get back to actually talking about the actual basketball aspect of it.
we have
If
yet
we
into
if we separate,
basketball. Caitlin
yeah,
Clark.
but if we separate, we may get an opportunity. Like right now, because like we're looking at her every day. So take both take some time away. And it's like you break up with your girl, you take some time away, she takes some time away. Y'all might come back together stronger. I look at it the same way. Like let's get away from it for a little bit, and then when she comes back, we can actually look at the basketball aspect of it because we've had time to talk about something else.
And
Okay.
can I ask you this though, real quick? The only part there where I would say I kind of disagree is even though Chelsea Gray hadn't played, I think the difference is her playing 5 or 10 minutes isn't going to cause an uproar
That's
as if
true.
Caitlin only played
Yeah,
5 or 10 minutes. You
that's
know what
true.
I mean? So that's why I think you're able to leave her there, and it's not a big deal. And then the only other thing that I guess that I really don't understand, and like you said, because I looked at it from a different perspective too, I said we're having a debate about a team that has what 7 straight golds. I think know what they're doing and how they're building. So it's one thing if they were like the men struggling to get the gold again. They haven't lost their dominance. So why all of a sudden are we questioning because this one player is not on the team? I don't understand it.
I do
I
have
got I got a response to that because that would
can,
just be just like an Olympic team if they didn't include Steph Curry, will they win? Yeah. Without anybody on that team, will they still win? Yeah, but that's not the
point.
point. The point is you put the best players on the team, and there's no way in the world that you can tell me that there's 12 girls in the world better than Caitlin Clark, let alone her
Yes,
own.
I can.
Her own
Yes, I can
that's
because
cap. That's cap.
she's not a top 12 player in the WNBA right now.
That's cap. I bet if
Okay.
anybody else was being face guarded 94 feet, they would be way worse than Caitlin Clark.
She's not face guarded all game like
Yeah,
that, but I hear
yes,
you.
she is, bro. Yes,
Okay.
she. The games that I've
I
watched, she's face guarded 94 feet. The
okay.
one girl tried to guard her in between free throws. No lie, the video's out there. She's so focused on face guarding her 94 feet. She
I
ran.
remember that she forgot to shoot her other free
She
throw.
forgot to shoot the other damn free throw. That shit's not normal. It's not
Okay.
normal. That's
I mean,
like
I know what you're talking about, but that's one play, one possession. I get what you're saying. I'm not even honestly. I'm Caitlin Clark out. So you can say whatever you want at this point. I really could care less because she's not that
I
important to
mean
me.
that's great for the
I
show.
I will
I
say
mean,
this.
shit, we wasting
Um,
time then if you could care
now,
less what I say about like all right,
I,
like
I will say this though. I agree with Jared in the sense that like having her there or not having her there ain't gonna change the outcome. Like it's so like whether she replaced whoever, like if they're gonna win gold, then they're gonna win
yeah,
gold either
they're gonna
way.
win gold, like
Mm,
Um,
sure.
I mean, and then the other thing I looked at, so I looked at the schedule of when these players are playing. Like it is going to be different from the last Olympics in the sense that like games where at 1 in the morning or whatever. These will be some games that'll at least be watchable, but still going to be hard for a lot of people to watch because they're like most of them are like 3 p.m. games, like except for the weekend
Mm,
games, and a
mm.
lot of people are still going to be at work at that time.
That sounds like a
So
lot at work games.
uh, yeah, so again, me thinking of it as because I think a lot of people that I've seen argue was like, hey, well, she's going to grow the game, and I'm like, well, she's got to be visible to grow the game. Like her just being there doesn't do anything except for the actual selling of the jerseys. Other than that, like people want to see her play. So one, she's got to be there. She's got to play, and people got to be able to see it for the actual grow the game argument to be to work. And I think a lot of games are still going to kind of be missed, or people are just going to be watching highlights. And I mean, she's not going to be a ton of the highlights if she's not playing. So to me, that argument kind of falls on deaf ears for me.
and look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it since none of y'all will. The real question is,
I
do
haven't,
they even want to play with her? Let's just be
That's
real.
I haven't said
when
anything yet. I was like, y'all get y'all's out
I mean,
When Isaac said that, and I said, yeah, I had I have that same point, but for a different reason, because he was trying to say it like a chemistry thing, you know, like she was even going to really get a fair shot at being part of that team. That's the angle that I come from it, but yeah, same thing. It would, yeah, you're right about that. It wouldn't work.
so
They'd have been trying to bully her and
yeah,
not
I
pass
mean,
her the ball and all that shit. So
kind of like what you said though, Jared. Like I said, I'm not even saying that what you said is invalid. It's just at this point, she's become so much of a focal point. You remember, like I said last episode, where it's like it's taken away from everything else. It we have got away from the WNBA, the play. You know,
yeah,
Asia
bro.
Wilson's out there killing Brianna. Still, like we ain't got away from everything basketball. Where now it's just
Mhm.
Caitlin Clark. Oh,
I
Caitlin
wish
Clark
we
walked her
could get
puppies
to it.
Hey,
today,
I
and
wish we could get
for
to
the record, gentlemen, I am supposed to be at a WNBA game right now. I'm here with you, Negroes. So,
We appreciate it.
You should
yeah.
have pulled up, bro.
Thank
there it
you,
is.
Icy.
There it is. There it is.
So,
If you was a real G, you would have did this at the game and got us an interview. But hey,
Man.
look,
if
I,
I was at the game, I
Oh,
wouldn't
here
be looking
y'all
at
go.
you at
No
all.
shots.
Oh,
I'm
All
just
right.
saying, we need to know how committed you are. All right, that's it.
mhm.
So my outlook on this is same but different in a way. I believe she should be there. And my reason for it is because for what everybody's been saying and some of the things we haven't been saying. Yet to grow the game, all that is good, well, and fine. But the revenue, y'all complain about revenue and how much money y'all don't make and all these things. This is another way to bring guys to it. She's like you said with the games, the times people gonna watch. People gonna watch at work. All the free time, if she's there and there's a chance for her to play, they're gonna tune in. Um, I understand the distraction part, but you're a professional. You go and play ball. I don't want to hear about distractions. You there to play ball.
Exactly. We're not middle school.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like you
Right.
said, the outcome isn't gonna change whether she's there
Grown
or
ass
not.
people.
Y'all
We
been
gotta
winning
grow.
gold. So why not take some popularity and bring more eyes to the game and more viewers to the game? Because you may get to see somebody overseas that you probably wouldn't have seen, in the states. And like you said, with more revenue and more money they make, these girls won't have to go overseas. Not just Caitlin Clark don't have to go. We want it to where they, a lot of these women don't. Look at the whole Brittany Griner situation. That's because she had to go overseas to play ball because they're not getting paid enough here. So if Caitlin Clark can affect the revenue or the eyes or promotion sponsors, all the other things that may come along with playing for Team USA, then I say let her do it for the for everybody, not just herself.
We got a
And
comment too, but go
oh,
ahead.
what was it,
Hmm.
Brandon? I
Yep.
don't think it's a big a deal as everyone making it. She'll have her time. She's not currently top 12 in the league. She will be by next
Crazy.
Olympics. Yeah, but I don't think top 12 really. I don't think that should be the reason. Okay, think about the dream team. Christian Leitner made it. He hadn't
That
played
was
an NBA game, period. He made it over Shaq. He made it over Alonzo Mourning. Like he made it over other players that could have been in that
Bro, this
position.
shit
But if
happens
I ain't
all the
mistaken,
time.
didn't that? But in that '92 Dream Team, wasn't there a rule or something they put in place to have a college player?
You didn't have to have one.
That no, I'm saying that
That
they
I
said that
don't
they
know.
were going to. I want to.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like when they talk because the reasoning for not doing is she isn't experienced enough. She hasn't and like kind of what you were saying, Justin. Like she hasn't played enough and adjusted enough. But like I said, It happened with men, and you didn't even need him. You had Jordan and you had everybody on that team. You did not need Christian Leitner at all. He was not going to affect the outcome.
Yeah,
let me
but
let me ask you this, Bernie.
Yes, sir.
They put Christian Leitner on that team. They did what?
They won.
Okay,
too fast.
so like
Too
it
fast.
doesn't
I like
it
how
doesn't
you
That's
really
what
just
I'm
change.
saying.
I
That's
They
what I'm
did what?
saying. That's what
he
I'm
said
saying. Like
they
the
won.
Caitlin Clark, like the Team USA's reasoning for not doing it is inexperience and the other 12 girls they feel like are better and they've been there before. And I'm just saying like that's if it's not a you can't use if they're not using that excuse with men, then why would you use it when it comes to her? I don't think I think Caitlin Clark impact is way bigger than Christian Leitner was probably at that time for different reasons, but
Do you know off
especially
the
for a
top of
struggling brand.
Do you know off the top of your hand? I guess two-folded question for you on that. One, I know the WNBA struggles, but I've never heard of women's basketball when it comes to the Olympics. There being a struggle there. I've always, at least my understanding, the women on the Olympic level have had support. The WNBA is different. Am I wrong?
Um, I mean support because
So
it's
you don't
it's
need her
separate
for
from the
exposure.
league,
That's I guess what I'm saying.
but you will get more exposure.
Maybe, but she has to play. Like I said, like she
Yeah,
would have
but
to
I
play for that
mean,
to happen, and
Well,
they've already said she's not going to play.
I and see that's messed up in
but
itself.
how do you just say that from the
Like,
jump that somebody
yeah,
is
Because
not
they
gonna
know who they
play?
got. Like that's not crazy to say. I mean, there's teams today that'll tell you, when you got players coming in, yeah, this rookie may be good, but he's not going to take over somebody else's spot. I mean,
that's
they
that
they know
hating
what they
shit that
got.
people be saying and they be wrong. Just like they
Like
just
Brandon
like
said. Brandon said, now if you want more exposure on Team USA, the Olympics, and women basketball, you strike while the iron is hot to put her on the team.
I,
yeah, bro.
but I mean, I don't know.
I
Again,
just
I get what you're saying. I was just curious because like that, I wasn't aware.
I
Like
don't
in
think
terms
it's
of
a
like,
struggle. I mean, they're not going to struggle as a team. Like I said, they don't
Yeah,
won
they're gonna
10 straight
blow
goals.
everybody out by 90
Yeah,
points.
like, but
Let's be real.
again, we've seen that wherever Caitlyn is, people watch. More people watch. So even if y'all was doing decent as far as watching women, I haven't watched women's basketball in the Olympics in a while. But
I ain't either.
even if people were, guess what? You're gonna probably double that with her on the team.
just curious, would you even with her on the team? But let's just say after the first two games, she's logged a total of let's say 10 minutes, right? Would you still tune in to watch just because she's on the roster?
Yeah, I was just gonna get there because she still has to
Yeah, I
play to
would.
keep the
Yeah,
viewers.
I mean,
I
people,
think.
yes, because okay, the other night she didn't play them. I mean, there's good players on the team. Nobody plays. You're not playing 40 minutes in an Olympic game unless
Right, right, right.
you know
But
what I
I'm
mean.
just, but I'm just saying, or would you be
So if
if
the
she's not
time,
playing every game? Are you still tapping in, or are you only
I,
tapping in if she's playing?
I think you tapping in for the potential to watch her play.
Okay.
I mean, I'd probably watch a couple of the girls' games anyway. But if Caitlin Clark was starting, I'm watching every single minute of every single game.
Yeah, she's not gonna start though. So
I
Yeah,
mean, she's
yeah,
not there. Like she's not
yeah.
going
yeah.
to
I mean,
So
even
I
if she
mean,
was,
win
she
nothing.
wasn't gonna
Like,
start. That
I'm just
was,
saying. But what if
yeah.
you? So
I
what if y'all,
can't.
what if you do put her
Like,
on the team? Y'all go to workouts and she going hard, and you like you sitting there now as a coach got to make a decision.
But see, it's to me, it's not even a. Here's the thing, even on the men's side, there's a lot of talented guys. I don't know of any rookies who ever made the men's Olympic team like that, like coming out. Like I don't. Maybe I'm missing something with
Anthony
that.
Davis. I think he made it 1 year straight out of.
He made it because somebody got hurt though. He didn't make
Yeah.
it straight up.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah, I
saying though,
mean,
like,
I'm just so it's not like it's some crazy thing that rookie like they didn't put a rookie on the Olympic team. So I mean,
yeah.
again, we're blowing that out of proportion. But like the reality is, again, I think it kind of even goes back to Ike, and I didn't think about it when he said it. But furthermore, she may not want to say it, but the girl may need a break. For real, like she
yeah, that's a
legitimately may
possibility.
need a break. And no, as an athlete, she can't come out and say, you know what, I do need to step away for a minute, whether it's mental, physical, both. She can't just come out and say that. She'll get tore to pieces nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she
But
getting
she
torn to pieces
legit may
not
need
saying
it.
nothing. So I mean, she
So
might as well.
Yeah, but I mean, she said this, her time will come and she understands
it
that it's
will.
earned. But I think that's just her saying, okay, I understand I didn't get on the team and I'm okay with that. Versus saying, hey, look, I really don't, I just want to adjust to the WNBA. I don't want to be distracted by anything else. I want to kind of focus on me, my team, and what we're trying to do right now in the WNBA. Then I'd have been like, okay, that's kind of her, letting them know that she didn't want to play. But saying that she's okay with not making the team, that means, hey, look, if I would have made a team, I would have played. So I think it's kind of, I don't know. I just think the criteria and their explanation doesn't fit like
Right.
the past and how it normally goes when you're talking about Olympic teams, at least when it comes to basketball. Like, I just don't think that's like I said, I'm just going by their reasoning. Like
15th in the
everything
league.
y'all said is absolutely true and could be a possibility, one way or another. But what Team USA saying is that, hey, look, the 12 girls we got, they've been here before, what I mean, the chemistry and all those things, and she hasn't been the best start to a rookie season, so no. And I'm just like,
I
okay.
mean, and it's crazy. Even that's like kind of 15 in the league and scoring fourth in the league in assists is a terrible start to a rookie to a career. Like that's damn near
And
five.
first in the league in turnovers. We ain't gonna glance
I
over that,
no,
but
you
That's
know,
just
granted, but you gotta also
and
if
and
you
she's
watch
shooting
the
like
game,
Like
37%
30%.
from the field.
and so is
Like
Diana Taurasi.
from the field?
Yes, bro.
Yeah,
Diana,
her
I'm
and
looking at
Diana
it right
got
now.
very,
Diana
her and Diana
Taurasi,
got very similar shot percentages.
37.1% from the field.
Mm.
Like, so I mean,
I
With the
think it's like
turnovers?
she
Diana has
has
the
now.
turnovers
Diana
too?
has much less turnovers, but much less assists.
I don't. Yeah, I'm about to say, but Diana, she's not a point guard. She doesn't bring the ball up primarily.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
She's a
But I mean,
scoop.
she's at this stage in her career, she's just a spot up shooter. That's
Yeah,
really all she's
right.
doing. So,
Yeah. So I mean, when you compare it to the girls that made the team, it
Jewel
seems like
Lloyd
her
made it.
stats
She's
are
shooting
competitive.
34% from the field. Jewel Lloyd made it, and she's shooting 34% from the field,
That's crazy.
and she is averaging a dub though, 20.3. And man, I think the Nika, oh, man, I gotta get these names right. Neka Ogwumake
mm.
being not being there is crazy too. But and then that's when we get into well, who you taking off? I don't know, bro. I ain't tapped in like that, so I don't know. But do I think Caitlin Clark was good enough to be able to make the team? Not do I think it would have been like great, like yeah. But I mean,
And
it's
even if
old.
you said that even if you said, hey, look, she's number 12, like, cool. Like, I don't think anybody would argue that, hey, look, everybody got to earn their spot. Everybody got to work for a position. But it's just kind of like you just voting and kind of taking, the same 12 or, the 12 you're comfortable with.
And then people trying to say, oh, well, we didn't pick her because we're trying to win. Oh, okay, all right. Like I don't even really okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when's the last time somebody truly competed against y'all? Like, the
Uh,
women, like, Even had
Because
a close
they
game.
they wouldn't come close to winning a game if Caitlin Clark was on the roster. No way, shape, or form would they. Like, come on, man. What are we
The
talking about?
reality is they probably didn't want to play with her. Again, I get what y'all
No,
saying. The
Like I said,
professionals,
that's
but
what I'm
why
saying.
have the distraction if you don't have to have it and you can still win? That's just the facts. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now the one thing that ain't nobody gonna say too that is real is they put pressure on themselves because now let's say they do lose a game or something happens, all the
Oh,
Caitlin
that's
Clark
gonna
lovers are gonna
be
be like, oh, if you had
ugly.
Caitlin, but that's how this
Yeah,
works. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So like
Mm.
yeah, it is what it is.
it's
But
and it's so like you said a phrase that like tripped me out. Caitlin Clark lovers. Like, why is it that every time somebody, because like it's so eerie because I've been holding this in so long, but this shit seems just like
Like
LeBron
LeBron.
James, bro. You never hear LeBron. It's always Bron sexuals or LeBron. Everybody else has fans, but LeBron is lovers and Bron sexuals and all this other like. What is that?
Can
And
we
then
just be
people
a
will say in the
fan?
same breath, "Oh, we don't hate Caitlin Clark. Oh, we don't hate LeBron." But why they fans got to be lovers and sexuals and all this other stuff? Why we can't just be
because
fans?
some fans of Caitlin Clark, LeBron, and others, they're over the top. It may not be
How though?
you
Just
because they don't
because
do
they
anything
admit
wrong.
it,
Because they don't do
because
anything wrong. That's
that
I swear to. I've talked to
it's
people who
not.
support LeBron, and I promise you, in every win, it's because of LeBron, and in every loss, is because of his teammates or coach. And I mean that.
You
It
ain't
may
never heard
not
me
be
say
you,
that.
but there are guys. There are guys.
So, but
There are
so
people like that.
there's none of those people for any other fans in the history of the game. It's
I'm
just
I
sure
think
LeBron.
it
there.
is, but I just
I'm
think it's louder because it's LeBron and there's probably
And
more
it's
of
like
us than it is of them.
that's another
correct
thing. But it's like people criticize people who are fans of LeBron like he's not like worthy of that fanship.
Fandom,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's just like dang, I could see if we were hyping up, Darko Milicic or
I
something
knew he was
like.
gonna say somebody crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can see if we're then I can see where that would get annoying. Like, bro, you're talking about a nigga who's done nothing, has done nothing for the game, ranks nowhere on the record books, broken any records, hasn't done anything, like hasn't won a Finals MVP on three different teams. Like this nigga hasn't done anything. Y'all bigging him up. That shit can probably get annoying. But like people are annoyed by people bigging up the leading scorer of all time. I ain't even gonna get into all that, but like I just think I just that's just funny how that hate is just like that shit's rolling in seamlessly, and I'm almost to the point where I can acknowledge that I gravitate towards the hated, like I like that's I think that's where it comes from. I think that's my pull to Caitlin Clark is because she is being treated unfairly. I think my pull to LeBron is that so many people I see more bums and flops and than champs, like for damn sure. Like so I think that's at this point in my life I'm realizing like
Kind of
damn,
like rooting
I
for the villains, man.
gravitate towards who's unfairly judged or treated. Like it's just I don't know.
so
Cause
you're
I was
admitting that you're one
I'm
of the
with
Clark
that.
sisters.
the who?
He said one of the Clark sisters.
Oh, I,
I'm
like
missing the reference. Y'all know I don't watch movies. Is that where it's from? I don't know.
Nah, that's
nah, he
just,
was
just
just,
just
it was just,
talking trash.
yeah, he just
Uh,
talking
That's what they
crazy as
calling
usual.
Caitlin Clark's fans.
I,
I ain't
I
tapped
just
in.
came I just
He
came
just
up with
made
it,
that
bro.
Oh,
up.
okay,
Yeah, I
That's
okay.
just
like,
made
they
it
that's
up.
what
Yeah,
they
made
yeah,
him
are
yeah,
say
yeah,
it.
yeah,
now.
They was
yeah.
You
just
heard
making
it
it
I
up.
here
thought I
first.
was tapped
You
in.
heard it here first. The Clark sisters.
That's why I say y'all should know by now. If I don't think I know something, I'll tell y'all. I ain't tapped in. I don't
But
know, but
yeah,
that's what it is though.
the fact of the matter for me is like fan is short for fanatic, and the bigger the player, the more you're gonna have who are extreme, who are loud, and so often loud and sometimes wrong. And
In
it's
one way or the
the
other.
unfortunate part is that like that's what people are going to see because like Jared, I can tell you right now that our algorithms on social media are very, very different because I see the exact opposite of you. But it's all about like what you are
What
kind
are
of
you
clicking
watching?
into
What are
and
you clicking
what
on?
goes
Yeah,
towards your algorithm.
Man,
'Cause
yeah.
I see the exact
why
opposite
it
of
gotta
what
be?
you see.
Cause it be
Uh,
shit that don't even be about LeBron and motherfuckers will be little flop, little bitch. Like this shit is about goddamn Carlos Correa. Like this ain't about fucking LeBron. This ain't even about basketball. In some kind of way, shape, or form, somebody will tie it back to any Jordan post ever in
Oh
the
man.
history of the world has somebody bashing LeBron. Every single one. I pay somebody $10 if somebody can find me one post about Michael Jordan, about like great things about Michael Jordan on any platform that doesn't have somebody talking shit about LeBron in the comments. Like,
And see, I have the exact opposite experience. I know that it's not true, and I know that it's all algorithm based
Right.
because that's what they think that you're going to engage with. That's what they think you're going to click
Yeah.
on.
So they're gonna
So
keep
I don't know why.
feeding
that's
you.
that's why it keeps feeding into your feed, and that's why you're going to see more of it.
And that's
Because
I
like
make
again, I'm
that's
going to
why
see
I
the
be
opposite.
very careful what I click on. Like I'm very careful. I try to see as much information I can get out of this before I click on it because I know once I click on it once,
That's
when I
it.
go to when I go to
That's it.
Instagram, it's gonna
Mhm.
be there. When I go to Twitter, it's gonna be there. Because man,
All
yeah,
all the talking you do, your microphone is always on, brother.
yep.
So it picks up on all that.
I was talking
Even
about a wall mount. Now it's
yep,
just add.
everywhere,
I'm like,
everywhere.
God, I just said I wanted to hang a TV. Jeez, but yeah,
Yep.
That's
no.
nuts.
Yeah, so it's the same way, and I get it all the way around, man. But yeah, I feel like you, Jared, man. Like I mean, of course, I like Caitlin Clark because she played for the Fever also. But again, it's like, hey, I want to see her do good just to make the people who want her to do bad mad.
Fact. Facts.
So, but I think we beat this horse enough, man. Let's jump to the something more
That's a little
concurrent.
crazy, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, NBA Finals, man. We got game 3 tonight. So Mavs
Tomorrow.
are a favorite tonight, hopefully.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would not be
The
talking
two.
about right now if that game was on. I'm gonna
Right.
keep it 100.
Right. So tomorrow at 8:30, ABC, of course. But is this game 3? I got a question. Is this game 3 the biggest game of Kyrie's career? Because can we all agree that Kyrie's kind of been the one that haven't put them over the edge? They've been close to
Yeah,
winning, and it's just like Kyrie's lack of um
an appearance.
appearance. Yeah, I don't want to say appearance. I don't want to just be like dang, but it's
I
like
really,
literally an appearance. He hasn't, I don't think he's cracked 20 points yet in either one of the games.
yeah, that's an issue.
And he's kind of one of the factors that help him get over the hump to get here. So like him not performing in the finals, which the last time he was in the finals, we know what he did. Um,
Who's starting?
who's starting?
I mean,
Who's
like, who's
starting
gonna
who?
start? Like,
Oh, it don't matter. I was just trying to roll into it.
okay,
Let's start with Ike, man.
Did you say the biggest game of his career? Like he wasn't in a game 7 of the NBA Finals?
Yes, and I'm saying career. I said career because I'm thinking like it's hard to get back, and this could
Yeah.
be one of them things where it's like he's 32. Is he going somewhere else? Like what's next for Kyrie? And this could possibly be the beginning of a sweep. So
He'll get blamed. He won't get like a super huge blame because he's not the only one not performing. Granted, he is the number 2, but I saw a stat today. Open shots. This means that there's nobody within 6 feet of you. Dallas is 6 of 24.
that's crazy.
mm,
Gotta do better than
Six
that.
of 24. So again, it's not all Kyrie. I also think that in the he's the most skilled player that people act like he just can't be defended, and
Correct.
I think that he has been defended very well as
Yep.
well. Also, about 2 series ago, he didn't play that great then either, and nobody said anything, mostly because they won. So
Bingo.
again, there are like a couple. Like I don't think Kyrie's been super consistent in this playoffs. Like
Mm-mm.
he's had moments in which he's like, "Oh, this is the Kyrie that I think is what I expect Kyrie to do," because people again always
we're
come up and
used
say
to Kyrie doing
he's
it,
the
right?
most skilled guard ever. Is the
To
stigma
most
that people
people,
put
right?
on him,
Yes.
which also is going to increase the expectation. But I also think on the other end, and this part of me is now I have to argue the other side because I made a bet on the other side.
Mhm.
Um, I think that people have underestimated Boston. I think that because it was like, oh, they ain't play nobody. Everybody's star player was out. Like they didn't win all those series for one. Like they ain't have one of the best records for a full season plus the playoffs coming into a finals. And then the one thing, and actually this is probably the biggest thing that made me like kind of mess around with my frat brother and pick Boston is because every time I've ever seen a series in which one team has had significantly more experience, they get so much love, and I didn't see that with Boston this year. I kept seeing what Boston didn't do, or people was worried about, oh well, Boston lost the game to Indiana, and then they lost the game. It's like, yo, they came back and won all of those series, and in fact, in most of those games, even though a lot of the games in Indiana were close, whenever Boston decided this game is over, the game is over, and they did that in every playoff series. But nobody gave them the experience factor that I've always seen other teams get in the past, and that's part of the thing that I'm seeing showing up in this finals is they seem a lot more poised in a lot of these tough situations, and I think it was also underestimated. And hope I don't know if Porzingis is going to play, but the game plan that he's drawing up with Porzingis and then putting either Drew Holiday or Derek White in a dunker spot, I think it's really messed up
Yep.
Dallas because Porzingis is he's either got a big on him, Drew Holiday is bigger, Derek White's bigger. They can go down there and get it. Like there's no way Drew Holiday should have been 9 for 9 in the paint
Definitely been different.
in any
Yep.
game,
Yep.
but because
Where the
he's
hell is
not,
for that? I watched the game, but like, what are you doing, bro?
he's either out there with Porzingis
Ah, Horford.
or or Horford who's out there who's also another shooting big, or they find a way to get somebody like Kyrie on Porzingis and then Porzingis shoots over. Like I think that has been a masterful game plan and not anything that Dallas has to fight that. Now, if Porzingis doesn't play, obviously that game plan in itself goes away. You still can get like Gafford out because Horford still can't shoot, but it changes a little bit. But I do think that Boston was uh, underestimated. Technically, they were the favorite going in. I didn't see anybody picking them. I'll be honest. We came into the finals, and in the last one that I was in, I didn't even pick them. I'm picking them now because I made a bet. I'm 100% honest. I tell people when I'm biased, and my bias is because I get something if Boston wins. But I do think that there is an argument that people have kind of not been paying attention to because we've been so gun ho on who was coming out of the West.
Yeah, no, I agree with that to a T. Yeah, it's because I picked Boston. I mean, not Boston. I picked Dallas myself. So um, yeah, nah, they just yeah, it's a lot going on, and they just the defense just hasn't been what it was, and offensively, they like you said, I think Kyrie is like 0 for 20 from the three. No, 0 for somewhere in there. Like he hasn't hit a three in the finals at all, and a lot of them been open shots, like you said. I think he's averaging like 18. Like he's just everything's down all the way across the board. I think he needs to have a big game. I think he needs to impact this game either on the defensive end or definitely on the offensive end to help Luca out because Luca's gonna have an off game one game. And
Good
hopefully
enough.
it's not game three or four. And he's
Yeah.
gonna have to pick up the slack at some point in order for them to win at least one game to offset that. But what do you think, Justin?
Uh, Man, a number of things. I mean, be honest, they got to get Luca to stop drinking beer. And like that dude, man. Don't get me started on his old fat out of shape self, man. That dude would be something else if he really locked in, like for real. He's so skilled, he would be something else. But that's a whole nother conversation. Um, he's
Shout
a
out to
cone.
Michael Finley.
He's a cone like right now. Like whatever the injuries are they're talking about, like he can't move, and that's put a lot of strain on that back end for Dallas. I 100% on the Porzingis thing, which I say this series could swing dramatically if that dude ends up missing time again,
He's yeah.
because he's been the X factor in the series for them. And then I'll say this: no, it's not Kyrie's biggest game. I I'll be honest, I hate when people try to put the blame on one player. Now, if everything else was going right and Kyrie's just stinking it up, that's one thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I didn't see PJ. Like all these dudes been trash. Let's just be Dallas just hasn't played good basketball. People don't want to talk about Jason Kidd hasn't made any adjustments. Like where are
That's
your
true.
adjustments at?
He's
You know what
getting
I
out
mean?
coached.
Like he's getting out coached. I mean, for real. Like I keep saying like Lively's probably the only player on Dallas that you need to be have subbed in when Porzingis is in. He is the closest thing from an athletic and a size standpoint that could do anything with Porzingis. I don't understand why he's not on the court. Just like you see coaches do it all the time. When they see that guy go to the scores table, that player's going up to the scores
Yep.
table. You know when you're going into the game. Like, but Kid hasn't made any adjustments. And maybe one of you guys can shed some light for me because I do not know. So this is maybe a dumb question, not saying these guys are great, But can anyone tell me why Tim Hardaway Jr. or Grant Williams aren't getting any playing time?
Grant Williams isn't on the team anymore. He got
So he's
traded.
not.
Yeah,
Where's
he
he
got
at? Where's he?
Charlotte
Yeah.
Oh, he was in that trade to Charlotte. Okay, okay. I
from
forgot all of
Yeah.
for PJ Washington.
Trinidad.
Yeah.
He was in that one. Okay,
But the
He
Tim Hardaway thing,
Tim
Junior
Hardaway.
thing is scratchy because he could defend and he could shoot. Like, what are we doing?
And you're struggling to score. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's what
my
I'm
thing where
saying.
it's like, kind of like what you said, like Kyrie and Luca are forcing it. You can see it. Like they're forcing the action. I think that's a lot of why those shooting percentages are that bad. But when they're passing it to guys, whether it's Green or whoever else is out, they're not hitting the open shots.
Yeah,
So if you're Luca and Kyrie, you're like, I'd rather take those shots if these guys aren't going to hit these wide open. I'd rather just force these shots then.
yep.
So
I will attempt to give you an answer. Tim Hardaway Jr. has had a down season, like so. I think that he's probably in a doghouse with Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd just
okay,
doesn't trust him.
Mm,
But that's the only reason I can think of. I mean, he's going to have to try something now because obviously
yeah, you got to
he ain't
try
doing it that
something
way.
now.
I'm
You
just
down
yeah,
2 games. I mean, you
yeah.
gotta change it up.
If anybody's and we've all watched enough basketball, let's just be real. Like again, I'm not saying Tim Hardaway is the next coming of anything, but we've all seen Tim Hardaway come into games and he can
And
get
go
going.
crazy.
Like and he
Mhm.
can go crazy. Like you know what I'm saying. So if your team is struggling to score, why not put a guy in the game who can go get a bucket?
That
Like
part.
I don't understand that.
And create
So
his own bucket. Like
and create his own shot. Yeah, like
he
he doesn't need. Yeah, he can create on his own. I just don't get it.
Or hit an open shot, or I mean,
yeah.
if he misses an open shot, it's the same result that you've
It's the
been getting.
same as what's been
Yep.
happening anyway.
Yep. Yep.
What about you, Jared? What you think?
I mean,
As
just
far
to
as Kyrie's impact on the game too.
oh well, I'll start with Kyrie. Is this his biggest game of his career? No. Y'all know I'm not the guy that puts people whole careers based on a game or even a series, like or
Yeah.
even a couple series. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I can't just
No.
erase.
No.
Kyrie's a solidified dog and first ballot Hall of Famer, whatever. Like he's done everything he needs to do in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, like I made a good point. Like he was damn near invisible in a couple of those games in an OKC series, and they
Mm-hmm.
won the series, so nobody really cared. I don't know what's really going on with that. I don't know. Was I talking about it on here or before we went live or whatever? No, I was talking to my dad right before I hopped on here, and I was telling my dad that he was like 6 for 18. I don't know if that was game one or game two, but he had 12 points, like 6 field goals for Kyrie, bro. That's at least 20 usually. You know what I'm saying? No threes, no free throws. That's just out of character for Kyrie. The fans could be getting to him. I doubt it. I'm not really sure.
That's what I was
Uh,
thinking too. It could be
yeah,
Nah.
could be mental.
if there's any team that I feel like can go win these next two, it would be Dallas. I mean, they proved that they could bounce
In
back
that
from.
Minnesota series.
Yeah, they proved that they could bounce back. So if anybody can do it, they can. So I mean, obviously, if they don't win Game 3, it's a wrap. But if they can
Yeah.
get Game 3 and put the pressure back on Boston to take that commanding 3-1 lead in Game 4, then they'll be on to something. But I mean, if anybody can do it, they can. Will they? I mean, it's to be determined. But yeah, Kyrie, he solidified it. It's he don't
I
have to
tell
play
you,
another. He don't have to bounce another ball. Pause, and he's the same Kyrie to me. But
I tell you what scares me if I'm Dallas. Jason Tatum ain't had a good game either.
that's true.
Yeah.
Like not even close to a good
For
game. I
the
mean,
flip
well,
side of
he's had
that,
good games. Now he has had good scoring games. Let me say that because he has the rebounded well. He's
And assists
He's
finding
been
too.
the
doing he's
open
been
man.
doing everything else,
Yeah.
but as far as his
Uh,
scoring, he ain't
Yeah.
went off yet.
but
We ain't got a 40
yeah,
pointer from him yet.
there's
Usually we
no
do at least
effort
in one
from
series.
Dallas, and you can see all effort from Boston, like on those
Yep.
live plays when you see like Jalen
Yep.
Brown getting up and knocking out lives. And the other thing I'm seeing is like they're letting people shoot from the corner. And another thing I just found out is apparently Drew Holiday broke some record for percentage from the corner, shooting like 60-some% from the corner from the year, and he's
Wow.
getting
Daggone.
open shots from the corner,
Yeah,
and
he is.
everybody else is getting open shots from the corner, and then
Yep.
nobody's trying to close out at all. Like if you continue that effort, you are not going to win another game.
But again, I think that comes back to what y'all was saying too about Jason Kidd. Like that's something that as a coach you gotta know and you got defensively got a game plan for that. Hey, look,
Mm-hmm.
make them take tougher shots. We're running everybody out the corner. Nobody gets a corner three. Like make them take it from the elbow. Like let's make them change up their shot routine. Like you got
It's
to
the
change
easiest
something.
shot in the game too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I wanted to add one more thing before we moved
Go
on.
ahead.
But on the flip side of the bright side, well, on the flip side of Jason Tatum not having a good game, Kyrie hasn't either. So I feel like uh, the Mavericks can kind of hang their hat on that. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
get 30 from Kyrie, you can do a 25 and 12 from Luca and have a good chance of winning.
Hmm.
But when
Hmm.
Luca is doing all the scoring and the only few assists y'all have is from him as well, that's not gonna
Yeah.
work.
And to add to that, role players typically play better
Yeah,
at home
so
too when
I
they ain't
think
got a
there's
home road.
still a high level of optimism going into game three for both teams. So hopefully that makes for a good game.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, final thoughts, guys. Man, we're doing good, man. We are under an hour still.
It's still light outside, bro. That's
I
crazy.
know. I'm looking. uh, final thoughts, Justin. Start with you, man.
Tap in, man. A good weekend for fights. You know
Yeah,
what
I'm
I'm
about to
saying? I
say what
told
fights we
y'all.
got going on.
Yeah, man.
Ah,
So
it's Father's Day weekend too.
yep. So it's a
Ooh,
big
Let's
fight
go.
weekend. So you got let me see. I wrote a couple of them down. So obviously the Frank Martin and the Tank Davis, but you got Edwin De Los Santos. I believe he fights. He's gonna be a good one. I think Gary Antoine Russell fights on that same card is which is a good one. Benavidez fights. They call him the Mexican Monster. He's legit. Like he's legit. He's good. He's the guy who's been trying to get a fight with Canelo for the longest. And I want to say, is it Ben Whitaker? I told y'all the light heavyweight. I forgot to send you the video. I'm gonna send it to y'all. Or Jared, I'll make sure you the. I think he's a
Sure.
light heavyweight if I'm not mistaken. Um, Pretty entertaining fighter. Still new. I think he's only fought about 8 professional fights over here or whatever. But yeah. So honestly, it's gonna be a good fight weekend. So I would tap in. It's the 100th fight card at MGM. So it's a big weekend for them.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Is
Yeah.
that where
Definitely don't.
Javonte's fighting?
Yep, that's where Jamonte's fighting. So, and I'll be honest, there's been a lot of movement in terms of that fight and thoughts on that fight. A lot of people are thinking that, well, I won't say a lot. There's people starting to think that Frank Martin could end up giving him some problems
Mm,
because he is like Frank is a really good athlete. He's a really good athlete. Like I told you, I've seen him in the gym in person, and he's a good athlete. Um, but then I've heard, I think it was Tim Bradley say this and that, and it's kind of where I lean. He said, when the lights get bright, things get different.
Mm,
Frank Martin's never been in this kind of spotlight, and he said early on it can be a really good fight, but you get past round 5, if he hadn't really pressed and made Tank uncomfortable, he could see Tank ended up stopping him because it's those big moments that Tank's been in and has shined in consistently. You know what I'm saying? So it's
hmm
not he can be down seriously. He can go down two rounds to 6, and he's confident knowing that in these last 5 rounds he's gonna come out victorious. He's gonna win those last 5 rounds because he has that championship pedigree. And Frank Martin hadn't had that experience. So we're gonna see, man. Good fight weekend though.
Man, sounds good. What about you, Ike? Man, final thoughts.
Man, I can't remember which one of y'all said it, but it is Father's Day weekend, so I will absolutely be with my pops on Sunday, saving him from some stuff that he got going on in his house that he don't want to be involved in.
mm,
Um, and all of you gentlemen have children as well, so happy Father's Day coming up for all of you gentlemen
appreciate it.
here.
Thank you, thank you.
As the only person here who's still pulling and praying, pray for me.
I ain't never
So,
heard.
uh,
Wow.
so
Pulling and praying. Got it.
That's
Got
crazy.
it. Jared, what about
Man.
you, man?
Um.
What we defending, man? Something on the defund list today?
Um. Nah, man. I don't even have nothing for y'all for no on the fun standpoint. Um. See the Bengals open mini camp. Chase was there and smiling and laughing. So
Yeah,
I guess
Manuel. Yeah, Higgins still not there. Well, he
no,
don't have to
no
be
T
because he's not
Higgins.
on the roster
He's
since
going.
the
He
franchise
is
tag.
going to. He better. He got to play. If he doesn't play this year, he's really, really, really fucking himself up. I hope his OGs is telling him, hey, bro, hold out as long as you want to, whatever. But like, bro, and that's not me even coming from the fans' perspective. That's from, bro, get this money, man. Like seriously. So yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I kind of like what I was saying last week is like, why go there and risk? anything
Oh,
when I
but
don't have to.
you're
I can
gonna
sign. I can
you're gonna
sign
miss
a week
2 years
before
of
week
football.
one. I'm just saying.
Oh, I
No,
see
I'm
what
just
you're
saying.
saying.
I can sign a
Yeah,
week before week one and go and
yeah.
play.
I
Like,
thought you were saying like hold out, like
no, I'm talking
totally.
about from all the camps and stuff.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
for sure.
work out on my own, and
For sure.
mini camp, training camp. I can do all that on my
Oh
own.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
100%.
sign a franchise tag. You know what I mean? Going into week one, and
Yeah, for sure. That was just me jumping the gun. My bad. But
yeah.
yeah, absolutely facts, 100%. So
So
I would actually like suggest that.
yeah,
Like, fuck it, stay away until you know what I'm saying, until week one. Yeah, for
yeah. The
sure.
money ain't gonna change. They can't
Yeah,
find me.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Facts,
uh,
facts. But
yeah,
yeah,
but
that's all I got.
that's it, man. So I got to thank y'all for joining us again, man. I appreciate. We got original four back. Appreciate y'all coming in. Justin and Ike. It's always a pleasure having y'all when y'all make it. Just because y'all bring a different dynamic. Basically, because
Of
Justin
course.
is always saying something crazy and Ike is always egging it on. We need this.
Wouldn't have it no
Come
other
here.
way, bro. Wouldn't have it
we,
no
we
other
need this.
Hey,
uh,
shout out
yeah.
to Brandon, by the way, for the comments,
way. Oh yeah, for
because
sure.
your comments wouldn't have been seen for another 45 minutes if I wasn't here. So
Yeah, hey,
shout out to me for being here.
that
I
I
pointed them out.
look, but wait a minute, wait a
I
minute.
clicked it when you pointed it out.
Oh,
I
I didn't know.
always
I see. I don't know about the technicalities. I just know I seen them. That's it.
I said that too when you ain't here. I'm like, man,
Yep.
like
Yeah,
y'all catch me, like I be looking at the
I
corner
heard
because
you.
I'll be trying to see if there's a comment, but Ike always handle the comments when we're here. So when he's here, that's just one less thing I got to worry about.
I give
Uh,
myself my flowers, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, man, we appreciate you
Look, we
commenting.
appreciate you, Ike. I hope you don't feel like you don't get your flowers, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh, no, I'm bullshit. You know,
Mm.
I know. I be listening when I ain't here, and I be hearing stuff, Justin.
Hey, to all the listeners out there, can y'all please
Yeah.
follow my business page, JBA Sports
Yes,
Soccer? Go pick you up some gear. Appreciate all the shares, likes, loves, buys, supports, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Just want to throw that out there.
and we need 100 followers on the Facebook page, or we cannot stream live to Facebook.
We don't
Apparently,
have 100 followers. I could swear
I
we had over 100 followers.
not on the group. Like if everybody that's in the group comes over to the page, then we'll be fine.
Okay.
But right
Oh,
Oh,
it's a
now, in
difference
the
with that.
hey, bro,
yeah,
what's
it's a
crazy
difference
is
in the
I didn't
business
even know
page.
that there was a difference.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I didn't
either.
either.
Yeah,
Not even
I didn't either.
following.
so I'm probably going. I don't
You
want to close the
put
group
something in
because
the
it's
group.
one group.
Yeah,
Put
put
Yeah,
some
something in the group
instructions in
though,
there
just to
because I'm
have and tag everyone,
yeah,
and I'm sure we'll get people to join it.
yeah. So I'll do that and put a link in there for everybody to jump over to the page so we can
Yeah.
continue streaming live to Facebook. Other than that, we'll just be live on YouTube and Twitter, so or
at
X,
that.
whatever you want to call it.
It's still Twitter.
Twitter, bro.
Yeah, whatever you refer to it as.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's it, man. Appreciate y'all. Oh, we're on TikTok now, so I will send out the link for the TikTok page too, so y'all can follow if y'all on TikTok and share that also. So we have clips on TikTok also.
Social media overload, bro. I can't
I
do
know, but that's the only way you get
There it
reach,
is.
and we got to grow.
Oh
We
no, I
just
know.
trying to
Yeah, I
grow.
understand it from your perspective. I'm not
So
getting on TikTok.
no, if you ain't got one, don't worry about it. But if you do, share it. But that's it, man. This has been another episode of the Epic Podcast, man. We appreciate y'all. See y'all next week.
yes, sir.